Hello my good friends, welcome to the channel Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse and, well, before going ahead, let me tell you that I'm very happy to be back in the making of these shorter format videos. I just spent 6 months working on what I presume to be the biggest and longest Digimon project online. 11 hours, my good friends. Let me say that it took more than just me sweating. And I have to say that your comments are truly the best. I find myself refreshing the video constantly just to go through all of them. A big thank you guys, the video was made for us. Now, while working on that 11-hour video, obviously there is lots that had been going on in the Digimon franchise, so it's good that we get back into it. In the web novel Digimon Liberator, we were finally introduced to the android Digimon QUEENBEEMON. Let me tell you that I'm not really surprised of its existence, as we already discussed QUEENBEEMON before even its creation. Let me give you a brief recap to the how we came to it. You see, those who have been following the channel for a while know that we have explored the FANBEEMON line on several occasions. We began with the basis, meaning how its Digivolution line looked like. That's where we learned that the members of this line are living in a cyber beehive called the Royal Base. Once we learned about that place, we made a little comparison between the Royal Base and the VESPIQUEN beehive. For those who do not know, VESPIQUEN is a Pokemon. That video was not well received by everyone, like for example our dear Andres Marrero, so I remade a second video to better explain why the VESPAMON beehive would completely annihilate the VESPIQUEN beehive. Andres, I still love you dearly, brother, those were good times. Then our final video was the one where we discussed DINOBEEMON by giving it a fan-based Digivolution line. It was in fact one of our longest videos in the channel as it had a length of 40 minutes. In that video, we featured a QUEENBEEMON designed by a fan on the platform X. We made an entire video about it and I absolutely adored it. Just so you know, the entire FANBEEMON Digivolution line did not yet have a QUEENBEEMON, which we knew was going to come out someday as there is no beehive without a queen bee. On top of that, in certain profiles inside the FANBEEMON line, there were hints that they were protecting not just the royal base but also their superior in the hierarchy. So, us fans came up with QUEENBEEMON, and now the Digimon developers gave us another QUEENBEEMON. And just in case, for those who are curious, I'll put these 4 videos in the description box or in the comment section, that way you can revisit them if you ever feel like it. When I put both QUEENBEEMONs next to each other, I am probably for maybe 80 to 90% certain that the Digimon developers had to take some inspiration from us. Look at the designs. They're both very feminine, they have their wings, obviously, except that the Digimon Liberator's QUEENBEEMON has wings with a texture that resembles a little bit those of Eosnon. And you know what? Eosnon is a giant humanoid moth and QUEENBEEMON is a giant humanoid bee, so it's a bit fitting that they are a little bit the same in design. Again, the QUEENBEEMON made by the Digimon developers resembles the QUEENBEEMON made by us. Heck, you can even see some Digimon flying around the royal throne, same as with the Digimon made by us. So it's very striking. The big difference I noticed is that the QUEENBEEMON made by the developers has a bit of human skin when looking at the arms. Our QUEENBEEMON is way more cybernized, which makes more sense as the FANBEEMON line were made of mostly cybernized bees. Am I a fan of seeing this difference? Maybe, maybe not, but you know what we say, don't judge a book by its cover. I have not yet read its description, so we're going to do that, but not just yet. Let me first quickly return to the royal base and tell you more about the roles of each members, just so we know the importance of QUEENBEEMON. So, the royal base is an aerial base floating in the sky. A wonderful and very strategic location if you ask me. As the base is always under construction, FANBEEMON is tasked to go out in the fields to carry home the data left behind to use them as raw materials. Mind you that because it tends to use data to modify its own surrounding, the entirety of the FANBEEMON line has thereby been classified as virus species Digimon. They are those who desire power above anything else, which sometimes makes them greedy, selfish, wild, or evil in the pursuit of it. Now, FANBEEMON are not exactly the fighters of the role base. They wouldn't be able to hold out an assault. That's why, the way I see it, the first line of defense is formed by cyborg Digimon VESPAMON. VESPAMON who was perfectly designed to defend the base. They have propellers on the shoulders and stabilizers on the back to rapidly move up, down, forward, back, left, right, or in any direction, which allows it to defend against approaching enemies. It also carries laser cannons, busters, and they also have antenna parts on their heads which harbors high reconnaissance abilities. That's why VESPAMON are always patrolling the vicinity on the lookout for Digimon approaching the base. While VESPAMON is in charge of security for the base, you have FORGEBEEMON who is tasked with its construction. FORGEBEEMON is new in the Digivolution line, so we couldn't have mentioned it in the previous videos. It isn't an offensive type of Digimon, however, its function is just as important as that of VESPAMON. Again, it is tasked with the construction of the base. That's what it was created for, even if it does not quite understand what it was built for. In other words, it toil away day and night for QUEENBEEMON without exactly knowing what it is they are building nor why. Its arms are equipped with glue guns, and it uses the honey adhesive created in its abdomen to bond materials together. On occasion, FANBEEMON can get stuck to the materials FORGEBEEMON carry. Luckily, in such situations, it can use its auxiliary arms to skillfully rescue them. FORGEBEEMON also possesses another pair of mecha arms with saw-like teeth, along with a variety of other equipment that also provides offensive capabilities. That's why it can discharge electrical energy from the welding arms that extend from its back. So, while primarily being a Digimon meant for the construction of the base, you still can't take its fighting abilities lightly. Then we have the second line of defense made by QUEENBEEMON, a massive Digimon with high caliber laser cannon to completely cover a vast range. In fact, the full 360 degrees around the role base, which is a good thing as, while many Digimon are grounded with no ways to reach the role base, there are still enough Digimon who can fly and thus attack the base from various angles. That's why QUEENBEEMON's role is extremely important. On top of that, there is a variant called QUEENBEEMON Aircraft Carrier. It only appeared in the manga Digimon Next. It's a QUEENBEEMON whose laser cannon had been remodeled into a catapult which can deploy over thousands of Blade QUEENBEEMON in an instant, which is absolutely crazy and a fool's errand for those who would even try to get to the role base. You see, while Blade QUEENBEEMON is a champion Digimon, it really cannot be underestimated. Its entire body has been weaponized and turned into Chrome Digizoid. Chrome Digizoid being an intermediate metal material that can integrate with living tissue. It is the strongest metal in the digital world due to its unique property of growing stronger the more thoroughly it is tempered, making it vulnerable only to the strongest of attacks and other objects made from Chrome Digizoid. Knowing how durable Chrome Digizoid is, obviously if one had to face 1000 Blade QUEENBEEMON, the probability of winning is certainly limited. On top of that, it is said that Blade QUEENBEEMON has a habit of reacting indiscriminately to anything that moves, and when a swarm of them attacks, they will pierce even Mega Digimon all over their bodies and cause them to die. So, QUEENBEEMON as the second line of defense is certainly a very dangerous Digimon who, by the way, in terms of design resemble the RX-788B03 Gundam called Dendrobium. I always love making references to Gundam, as if it wasn't for the love and success this channel got for Digimon content, chances are big I was going to focus on Gundam instead. I love it so much, especially Gundam Wing with Hero, Duo, Trowa, Catra and Wu Fei. Now, While QUEENBEEMON is protecting the base with its large, wide body, there is VESPAMON who defends vital facilities using its endless supply of stamina and speed. You may not know, but VESPAMON is a Digimon I remember to have mentioned even if it did not yet exist. When you look at the Digimon reference book entry data, it was created on May 23rd, 2024, so it's very recently as of the making of this video. I will let you know how I theorized its existence in a moment. For now, know that its role is pretty crucial within the role base, as it basically is the last line of defense. VESPAMON is charged with protecting QUEENBEEMON, the highest ranking unit at the base and part of the role guard. VESPAMON places a heavy emphasis on cooperation with its allies during battle, and it will not hesitate to sacrifice its life for QUEENBEEMON or the role base. When it fights, it deploys a hexagonal beam shield from its royal shield and attacks with its royal lance. I'm wondering who will be the better lance user, VESPAMON or Gallantmon. Now, the top 0.08% in terms of strength and skill among VESPAMON, who is an ultimate level Digimon, tend to digivolve further into the mega level. And one of these forms is called Tiger VESPAMON, one who was inducted into the covered Honey Corps Royal Commando and was awarded the codename Tiger. Reason why I previously said, meaning in the other videos, that there should be more VESPAMON in existence is because Tiger VESPAMON only got that title of Tiger from the fact that it was by far the best in solo combat. So it should, at least in theory, be possible that another elite VESPAMON might emerge but who is skilled in something else. I mean, it is still Digimon we are talking about. There are those Digimon who are very smart, others are good in the use of a lance or a sword or a hammer. So I think it would be great if there were other VESPAMON with different codenames, such as Leopard VESPAMON, Elephant VESPAMON, Crocodile VESPAMON. You get the drill. FANBEEMON, WASPMON, QUEENBEEMON, VESPAMON and Tiger VESPAMON are all in the service of Android Digimon QUEENBEEMON, the ambitious queen who rules over the role base and is always seeking to expand the size and scope of its base. There is lots that is so interesting about QUEENBEEMON. You see, despite being at the mega level, its abilities in close quarter combat is not its strongest aspect. It has even been stated that its abilities in single combat is inferior to that of Tiger VESPAMON. However, QUEENBEEMON's strongest asset is its high intellect. You see, with its high prowess in both science and engineering, it was responsible for the design and development of the role base. In addition, it takes great pride in its ability to process a remarkable amount of information and thereby manages defensive positioning and combat formations all by itself. I presume that QUEENBEEMON also created the Royal Throne, which provides a wide variety of functions. Mind you, that the Royal Throne is considered to be a part of its body, which, you know what, is a little bit the same as the QUEENBEEMON made by us fans, don't you think? And which reminds me, there's one thing I would prefer more with the fan-made QUEENBEEMON in comparison to the QUEENBEEMON made by the developers. You see, most of the FANBEEMON line are androids, so they are obviously very calculating as they are robots essentially. That should not be the case with QUEENBEEMON, who, for starters, is an attention seeker who will never fail to flaunt the fact that it is a queen, even within the role base. That's something I do find a bit unfortunate, as I really would have loved it to be almost like the Terminator, where the mission is the only thing that matters. I wanted it to be very calculating. Here we have a QUEENBEEMON who even sports a beam fan around, despite it having zero tactical effect. That's just my thought. Anyway, QUEENBEEMON is revered as a sovereign by the Digimon under its command, and it will sit upon its throne and listen to the calls of affection from its subordinates. Hi guys, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It really feels good to be back. Working on a video of 11 hours was so big and so long that this one seems so little. I feel I could make such type of videos every day now. And you know what? I really love how the Digimon developers continue with the expansion of the Digimon franchise. I mean, even if I covered a video of 11 hours, there's still so much to cover and I love it. I've got so much work and I'm ready to just get into it. The FANBEEMON line just got bigger with the addition of FORGEBEEMON, VESPAMON and QUEENBEEMON. And I'm now also hoping that we're going to get a bit more about the world base and the bigger compelling storyline in which the world base and its inhabitants are playing a more important role in it. We also can't forget that they are all carriers of the X antibody, meaning that at the moment Yggdrasil launched the X program to eliminate 98% of existing Digimon, they would have survived it. And I suspect that they would be placed in the Scold terminal, which was the terminal that governs over the future with mostly artificial evolution and machine-type Digimon living in there. It's a part of the story of Digimon Chronicle, in case you are curious. So how do you think of the addition of QUEENBEEMON, VESPAMON and FORGEBEEMON? How do you view this entire clan? Let me know in the comment section, don't forget to like and to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.